What is going on, everyone? In today's video, I am going to show you how to find your perfect sensitivity for controller. And before we get into it, I just want to ask, if you're new here and you like this content and you want more tips and tricks videos, consider pressing that subscribe button down below and leaving a like for the one time, you know. Now, with that being said, let's get right into it. For starters, you want to go into creative and you want to go over to one of these portals here. And I would recommend loading up Scavox Aim Trainer. I'm going to leave this up for just a second. We're going to jump in here because first things first, we are going to test out the sensitivity. All right, now that you're inside of Scavox, you may only spawn with these two items. You want to go up and grab a shotgun and also a ranger. I will explain in a second why you need the ranger, but just go ahead and go pick it up because you're going to need it. First things first is you want to go to the reaction BF. And you want to make sure that you can hit your headshots kind of flicking with the shotgun, right? Now, if you're going too far over or you're not going over enough, then you need to change your sensitivity. So say if I was on like 35, right? This might be really slow and I might be able to like hit my target still. But a lot of the times I'm probably going to be a little short, right? Like that. And if you're short and not making it all the way to the target before you shoot, you're going to want to raise your sensitivity. Now in the same boat, say your sensitivity is too high, right? You go in and you're trying to flick and you go past the target. That means you're going to want to lower your look sense, right? You're going to want to lower it. You want to keep on doing this until you find one that fits your play style and where you can hit your shots consistently. That's how you're going to find your look sensitivity, okay? Now, we still have a lot to talk about. We have ADS, we have build mode, we have edit mode, we have all that good stuff. Let's talk about ADS sensitivity. With ADS sensitivity, you want to go over here to the horizontal tracking. I like the 75 meter one because it overall rounds out your aim to be able to hit those longer distance shots as well. So we're going to go to the 75 meters. We're going to go to free play. And this is where the ranger comes in handy. Because with this, you want to keep your crosshair on the enemy the entire time. Oh, he bounced a little bit there. That's okay. And same thing with the look sensitivity. If you're too far ahead, or you're constantly like trailing behind the target, then you're going to want to raise it or lower it depending on where your crosshair is at. Now, I'm sure y'all are wondering, why do the ranger when most of the time you're going to be using the MK7 anyway, right? Well, the thing with that is that the MK7 does not use the ADS sensitivity. It uses scope sensitivity, which on controller we don't have, so it plays off of our normal look sensitivity. That's why it's important to have a good look sensitivity as well. And then your ADS sensitivity comes from, you know, if you only have an SMG or something and you're trying to hit someone from range, you know, you want to still make sure that you can hit those shots as well. You want to make sure that you have control over your crosshair from at least a little bit of a distance. And who knows, the MK7 could leave the game at some point and they could bring in a new AR that actually uses the ADS sensitivity. So it's really important to make sure that you have your settings set up properly for your playstyle and your comfort. That's going to be it for the ADS sensitivity and the look sensitivity. Let's talk about build sensitivity. All right, with the build and edit sensitivity, you're going to want to go back to your hub and you want to open up a edit course that you're pretty familiar with. You know, I like using the Raiders edit course personally because it is really long. It has a lot of different edits, resets, a bunch of really optimal stuff inside of this map. And it also has a timer. So make sure if you're going to use a edit course, make sure that it has a timer because it's going to help you in the long run here. So pretty much what you want to do is you want to start out on your normal build and edit sensitivity, right? And you're going to come over here, you're going to hit the timer and you're going to start and you're going to go through all this. You're going to go through this. And when you come through, this is where it ends. You're going to drop right on the timer. I want you to write that time down next to what your sensitivity for build and edit. And then after you do that, I want you to go in like 0.2 intervals, right? So for example, if your build sensitivity is say 1.8, go up to 2.0. Try that out. Run through the edit course again, track the time and see what it displays. Then go up to 2.2. Try that. Record that time. Move up to 2.5. Try that one out. See how it works. Record your time. If it ends up not being too great on this sense, you can drop it down to 2.3. Try that out. And then also do 2.1. So that way you get like a nice medium for each jump that you do here. And whichever one has the shortest time, I guess it would technically be the higher number since it's counting down. So anyway, whichever one you do the edit course the quickest with is what you need to set your build and edit sense to. That pretty much shows that you're consistent and faster on that sensitivity than any of the other sensitivities that you tried with the build and edit. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why can't I not just, go and free build and test out these sensitivities until I find one that feels comfortable for me? I'm glad you asked that. And that's because even though a sensitivity might feel comfortable for you, it might overall be slower, and there may be another sensitivity out there that may feel but not as comfortable as another sensitivity since you're raising and lowering them all the time. But with the time that the edit course has, it will show statistics on your time and your speed for that sensitivity by going through the edit course. So it'll give you a better understanding instead of, oh, well, this sensitivity feels nice, I'll play on this, and then it end up not actually being good for you. That's going to be the sensitivity that you're going to want to use. And I would recommend, I know that has nothing to do with the build sensitivity, but I would recommend leaving your build sensitivity the same as your edit mode sensitivity, just for consistency. We have so many different sensitivities with controller that you kind of want to make sure that everything's semi-normal, right? You don't want a different sense for your build versus your edit because then it might throw it off when you're building and editing, or you build and then go into your edit menu. It's going to have a different sensitivity because you're technically in your build menu, but also in your edit menu. So yeah, it's just really confusing and it can feel not as fluid when you do it that way. So I highly recommend leaving these the same as each other. So find out what your edit mode sensitivity is and then put your build mode sensitivity on the same thing. It's going to help you out a lot in your gameplay. And I mean, that's all the sensitivities that we can go through. Now, I have one more thing to tell you. Okay. As you improve at the game, your sensitivity is going to feel slower and you're going to want to up it. You might be dying more because you can't turn around as quick. At that point, you're going to want to up your sensitivity, maybe by 2, 3, whatever the case may be. So that way you're able to like turn around and still hit your shots as quickly and consistently as possible, right? What that's going to do is it's going to pretty much give you a different build mode, edit mode, and ADS sensitivity, because these work off of multipliers and percentages. So when you change your look sensitivity, even if you don't touch the other sensitivities, these are ultimately going to change in speed because you changed your look sensitivity. If that happens and you do increase your look sensitivity, all you have to do is take what your old sensitivity was, multiply it by whatever your build and edit sense is, right? Find that number. So let's use mine for an example, okay? If we take 41 times 2.1, we get 86.1, right? So say I wanted to up my sensitivity to 43. I do that, 43 times 2.1 is now 90.3. And if I wanted to get it back to that 86.1, all I would have to do is do 86.1 divided by 43. And that gives me a 2.0 multiplier. So all I would have to do is go down here and drop this down to 2.0. And at that point, now my build and edit sense is the same speed as it was previously, while also being higher. So your build and edit, they're going to feel the exact same as they did before you upped your sensitivity. So really the only thing that you're going to have to kind of relearn in a way is going to be your look sensitivity. But I mean, if you're consistently hitting your shots before you up your sensitivity, it's probably a good thing to go ahead and up your sensitivity. And with that, you really don't need to change anything else, right? With your build and edit, you just want to make sure it's that same speed, and this is going to help with that. Going back down, let's go down to the ADS sense. Now this is a percentage, okay, of what your normal sensitivity is. So your sensitivity is a percentage, but your ADS is a percentage of the percentage up here. I know everyone hates math, but this is super simple and really easy to do. All you have to do is divide your ADS sense by your normal look sense, right? And you're not going to divide it by 10, okay? Because it is a percentage of what your look sensitivity is. So how you would do this, let's take mine for an example. You would take your normal sensitivity, which mine being 41, and then I would divide it by 0.1, which is 10% of that sensitivity. That gives me 410, right? That's the number that I would want to remember. So if I go up to like 43, then I would have to do 43 divided by 0.1, which would give me 430, which isn't what I'm looking for. 43 divided by 0.08 if I'm going down to 8%, right? And that actually gives me a higher number, right? Which means I actually need to up my ADS sense when I up my normal sense. So yeah, we multiply it by 0.12 for 12%, and it's getting closer. So you just want to keep on doing this until you find it close to what your normal sense used to be. With this scenario here, 11% would be the closest that I can get without actually being over. Now, if you get down to a point and it's like 1% off, one of them's lower, one of them's higher, it's always best to go with the lower percentage, because it's going to be more accurately represented with your normal sense instead of it being a little bit faster and it ultimately throwing you off because it is that slightly faster. With it being slightly slower, you're not really going to notice it as much, and you're still going to hit your shots ADS with it being a tiny bit slower. With it being faster, you're going to end up missing shots that you probably shouldn't, and you're going to be like, why am I missing these shots? Why is my tracking off? And that's why, because your sense is a little bit faster than what you're used to. Therefore, the muscle memory is not there. With it slower, your muscle memory will be just fine. That's gonna do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope y'all find your perfect sensitivity for controller and you start slaying out in these lobbies. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you liked this, hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe, turn the bell on for notifications so that way you never miss an upload, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.